Hello, Colts Nation, and what is up, No Horse and Family? It's an interesting day. It's breaking news day, right? Shaq Leonard. We're going to touch on it, all that and more. It's a strange day. I'm rocking my 53 jersey in honor of it today, right? Shaq Leonard, Darius Leonard, whatever you want to go with, has been waived and released by the Indianapolis Colts today. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I was kind of surprised, right? So I mean, this you start seeing these things, right? Far right to your screen, if you're watching, you see the tweet by Shaq, and immediately I'm hearing from Cody, I'm hearing from my boy Zach. Hey man, is Shaq retiring? This sounds like a goodbye, and it came out before anything else, right? And then you start getting flooded with all the other stuff. You start getting flooded with the thank you, Shaquille Leonard. You start getting with the Chris Ballard statement, the Shane Steichen statement, the Jim Irsay statement, and then finally, actually, the legitimate statement from the Colts saying, we have waived Shaq Leonard. How do I feel? Well, there's a duality to it, right? Like, there's a duality to this breaking news of Shaq Leonard being waived and essentially cut by the Colts. I think we all felt it coming. You know, a friend of the show, James Boyd, talked about it, that he felt like this was coming, that this was going to happen at the end of the season. You saw a decline in his role. He was playing about 75% of the snaps. He wasn't making the splash plays. When he was on the field, you know, we pointed out in the in the New England game, the kind of the whiffs that felt very unlike Shaq, right? That he would miss those plays and he wasn't making those plays, and it didn't look like he was able to make those plays. You can go back into the history of this channel. You can see, at the beginning of the year, will he ever be the same? Will he ever be back to what he was? It was a question that we floated a lot, and we weren't sure because of the injury that he sustained, because of the nerve. That nerve regeneration is such an odd thing. Like, you don't know if it's ever going to come back, right? So you have how he was playing. You had the idea that we weren't surprised that we thought they might move on, especially how vocal he had become on his disagreement with the fact that he was not playing, especially on third downs. That's money down. That was Shaq Leonard's down. That's picks. That's forced fumbles. That's what he would make those plays. And he's not on the field to make those plays, right? And then in his absence over the last year, you have kind of the arriving of Zaire Franklin as the leading tackle in the NFL last year, probably set to do it again this year. He's played one less game. He's had the bye week now too, and he's just now finally not the leading tackler in the NFL. So you had kind of that emerge. You had EJ Speed emerging, right? So, I mean, it's a tough thing, when you look at all the logistics, and then you even go with cap hit, right? Like, essentially cutting Shaq saves them $55 million over the next 3 seasons. His cap hit is $8 million in 2024 and then $4 million in 2025. They save a tremendous amount of money for a guy who's not producing. So you can take all the common sense behind it, right? He wasn't producing. He was getting highly paid. He was injured. We don't know how he was going to come back from this. You can take all of that, right? It still doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt as a Colts fan that he's not with the Colts anymore. And I mean, you start scrolling through and you just, like, for me, it was just like one after the other of seeing things of like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. Is he leaving? What's happening with it? I mean, it's an insane thing as you go through your timeline and my phone. I mean, my phone's blowing up too, saying, are you seeing this too? It's a sad thing because of who he is and what he's meant to the franchise, right? Like, he was considered the worst draft pick in the entire draft that year. And all he did was win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had second most tackles in his first 44 games, second only to Bobby Wagner. He's already got more forced fumbles than, like 24 Hall of Famers. I mean, he was kind of the the pilot light for the defense for those 3 or 4 years before he got injured. And I mean, like I said, like I'm sitting here, I've got my jersey on, I've got several shirts with Shaq's face on them essentially too, right? Like he means so much to the team. Um, you can be upset. You can understand the move, and as a Colts fan, you can still continue to be upset that he's gone. He's going to go through waivers. Not a lot of people think he's going to actually, get picked up through waivers because they got to pick up his contract. His contract is rather large, right? I mean, he set the market when he got the contract a few years ago. The question is, does he play again? I think a lot of people were thinking that there's retirements out there, and he said, and God love him, like hats off to him. He still did his turkey handout like in Indy today. And of course, the media swarmed him and was able to ask questions. And that was one of the ones, like, he said he wasn't contemplating retirement. He might play again this year for another team. He wouldn't rule that out, you know. And then you hear too, you heard the rumors of, well, he asked for this. It was so sudden. And then you hear him speak on it today, and it was, hey, he met with Gus Bradley and them, and they let him know he was not going to be active this week. That was yesterday, and then today they released him. So I mean, it's a business, right? Like it's a cold business, and as a fan, you buy the jersey, you get attached to the player, but it is a business, and they make business decisions, and they move on from players, whether you have an emotional attachment or not. I know I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he goes somewhere else. I hope he does well, and that he continues, that he gets back to that form that we got to see here in Indianapolis. Because watching him play when he's at the peak, I don't think there's a better linebacker in the NFL. So I want to know what you guys think. What do y'all think about the waiving of Shaq Leonard? Are you okay with it? Do you understand? And then do you just want to vent? Do you just want to be upset that one of your favorite players is gone? Do that. Drop it in the comments. That's what we're here for. It's a safe space, right? You can vent about that you don't like that they did it. So, as always, you guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those great things. And I love you. I know Zach loves you. And I know Shaq still loves you too. I'm out.